Out. Double kill. Let's go. We did it. Let's go. Let's go. Holy shit, man. Holy shit, man. What the fuck? We did it. I didn't think there was any way we were gonna do it tonight. What's up, you guys? If you just saw that intro video, you know that we just completed the Dark Matter Camo Challenge. Man, this was definitely one of the coolest things that I have ever done. Probably in any game that I've ever played before, honestly. This one was definitely a grind. It was really fun. At times it was very tiring and frustrating, but we've completed it. We now have Dark Matter unlocked. This is something I've wanted for a while, man. I'm mainly a Warzone player, you guys know this, and I've always wanted that Dark Matter camo whenever I see it in Warzone. It's something that catches your attention. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and it's something that I've always been interested in. So the purpose of today's video is I'm going to show you guys how to quickly, at least the most quick way to achieve Dark Matter combo. You guys can see here, I only have 3 days, 11 hours played in Cold War, and I probably spent at least a day before I actually even started the Dark Matter grind, just ranking up guns, testing the game out when it first released, things like that. So I completed Dark Matter in just around 2 days of actual in-game time, which is pretty crazy, to be quite honest. So definitely proud of that, excited about that. So I hope you guys can learn some things from me. I'm going to share some tips with you guys that I wish I would have known whenever we first got started, that I now know after doing it, that I think will help you guys on your journey. First thing we're going to do, we're going to look at the specific camo challenges that are need for each weapon category. Okay, let's hop over to that now. So for each weapon, most of the camos are pretty similar. There's some things that change based on the weapon type. So first we're just going to hop in. We're going to look at each of these super quick, so that way we all can get a general understanding of what is actually needed to achieve Dark Matter. So for your assault rifles, the camo challenges that you're going to need for your assault rifles is you'll need 5 assault rifles to be gold to unlock diamond. So we need diamond in every category, obviously, to achieve Dark Matter. So we're going to have to do this challenge on 5 of the assault rifles. So one thing I wish I would have known about Dark Matter before I got started is that if you don't have gold on a specific gun, you can't actually put Dark Matter on it. So that kind of sucks. So if there's a gun that you're using that maybe it just became meta or whatever, you may have to go back into the game, get gold on it. That's something I'm doing with my C58 right now. I wish they just gave you Dark Matter for everything, but they don't. So here we are. Anyway, so the challenges that we have for the assault rifles is spray, stripes, classic, geometric, fluorescent, psychedelic, obviously. So for spray, this one's just eliminations. You have to get 300 eliminations with the assault rifle multiplayer. And then this one right here is headshots, so it's 100 headshots. For both of these challenges, spray and stripes, honestly, don't even think about those. You're going to get those as you just play the game, as you're doing the rest of these challenges. This is not something that you need to put a focus on. By the time you complete all the other challenges, you're pretty much going to have both of these done. If you don't, then you can just go back in and focus on like getting headshots with, specific scope or whatever. The classic, this is something that, can take a little bit of time if you don't focus on it right off the jump. It's get 5 kills without dying 20 times using your weapon in multiplayer. So that's a 5 kill streak, essentially. So one thing that I always like to do whenever I'm doing this is, I kind of play super aggressive for at least the first couple of kills, and then you may find an area on the map where you can hold a corner, maybe get near their spawn, get a couple quick spawn kills. One good thing for this challenge, and this one applies for all the weapons, is that these stack up. So if you get 10 kills in a row, it counts for 2. If you get 15 kills in a row, it counts for 3. So if you really get rolling in a good game, if you get rolling in a really good kill streak, just know that those are going to count. However, if you get 9, you're not going to get 2, you're only going to get the 1. So make sure you always focus, if you're on like a 4 kill streak or a 9 kill streak, really focus on getting that last kill. Otherwise, you'll find yourself super frustrated. Geometric, this one is long shots. This one's pretty easy. Again, this is another one that, you can pretty much do just as you're doing the rest of the challenges. Certain maps you'll find yourself getting long shots just based on the cover that you're using, just based on, you know, the corner that you're playing, things like that. For a lot of these challenges, I played on Nuketown, so I'm going to give you guys 2 spots right now that are guaranteed long shots. So in the back of Nuketown, if you spawn on the side, you know, that has the open area, you know, you're going to sit all the way to the left side and you can shoot into the garage of the opposing team, and that one will count as a long shot every single time. And then if you spawn on the side that has the building up close, you know, if you go inside the garage and shoot through the little doorway that goes into the window on the other side of the building, that one's also a long shot guaranteed. I'll show you guys that. We'll do a little bit of run through on a couple of these challenges here in just a little bit. So we have long shots. Flora, this one is 75 enemies detected, stunned, or blinded by your score streaks, equipment, or field upgrades in multiplayer. So what this one means is they have to be detected, essentially, is what you're thinking of here. So if you have a UAV popped, counter UAV, a HARP, something like that, they're detected. Obviously, if you throw a stun grenade, a flash grenade, you know, they're stunned or blinded, so that counts as detective. Or if you're using a field upgrade, such as a field mic, and they're inside your radius, that will count. We're gonna go over a couple class setups here in a second that will show you guys how to make this one easy. One thing to note here is that these do stack as well. So if you get somebody that's on a UAV, and they're inside of your field mic, even though you only shoot one person, that can count as 2. So that's something to keep in mind. You can really use this to your advantage. You know, if you're camping like a building, if you have a team like in a spawn trap, things like that. So again, we'll go over, this one will make a lot more sense with the class setup here in a second. Science, this one is shoot and kill 50 enemies taking cover from you in multiplayer. Again, this one is gonna be something that, it kind of just depends on where you're at in the game. You know, again, if you're playing in Nuketown, this is gonna be something that they're in the top of the building looking over the edge. You know, 50% of their body essentially has to be behind cover for this one to count. So sometimes you might get a kill, you think it should count, but it doesn't. So this is going to be something to where, you know, if they're using a head glitch, for example, that one's going to be something you really want to focus on. If they're like half their body's peeking a doorway, you know, if you start to engage someone, then they go to duck behind cover and you get them when half their body's still sticking out, that one's going to count. Psychedelic is double kills. So kill 2 or more enemies rapidly 25 times in multiplayer. Double kills, it'll show up on your screen. If you get a double kill, they pretty much have to be back to back. You know, you can't wait too long. I think from what my experience was, it gives you a grace period of about 3 seconds at the most. So if you kill someone, then you have to look around for a second and find another enemy. 3 seconds, that's something that will count. Again, it'll flash double kill on your screen. The medal will pop up once you actually achieve it. So make sure you see that before you assume that you got one. Another good thing is these stacks. So, you know, if you get a quad kill, you know, if you get 4 in a row, that'll count for 2 double kills. You know, that's probably the most common scenario. Anything more than that, I mean, good for you if you're getting frenzy kills, things like that. But, you know, double kills are going to be something that, you know, if you're playing pretty aggressive, this one's going to be pretty easy to achieve. SMGs, it's going to be a lot of the same ones, except some of the parameters are slightly different. So spray, again, elims. Stripes is going to be headshots. Classic, you know, 5 or more kills without dying 20 times. Geometric, long shots. Geometric, I want to go over to this one for just 1 second for SMGs. So this one, SMGs obviously are not really long shot weapons. So one thing you're going to want to do on this is go into hardcore. Hardcore is going to be a huge theme across this, to be honest. Whenever we go into our playlist section of this, you guys will see what I'm talking about. You're going to play a ton of hardcore if you're really going for dark matter, so get used to it. Get ready to be irritated when you get one-shotted by somebody using a pistol. It's going to happen. But hardcore is going to be the money for this because you can just long shot people in Nuketown from about 50 meters. You know, shooting across the map, so that's going to get you those long shot medals. Flora, again, 75 enemies detected. I've already gone over this. Science, so this one, again, instead of taking cover, it's going to be 75 enemies at point blank range in multiplayer. This is for SMGs. It quite literally means point blank. You basically have to be on them, almost touching them for this to count. Sometimes you'll get a kill, you think you're at point blank, and you're not. If they jump away from you, if they slide away from you, if you take a step back, you have to be on them. So one thing that people kind of will do is stay in a building, can't wait for people to run by, and then they'll run up behind them. Honestly, I think if you just play aggro and you just charge people, you know, if you get in an enemy spawn, get in an enemy building, you know, get it behind folks, that's going to be your best bet at getting these rapidly. And then psychedelic, you know, again, this one's going to be double kills. These are all pretty much the same. for a lot of the weapons. For assault rifles, submachine guns, tac rifles, and light machine guns, it's pretty much going to be those. Let's go over to sniper rifles super quick. Sniper rifles are going to be slightly different. Let's see, you know, the first one, obviously the spray is elims. Stripes is headies, which is pretty easy with snipers. Classic, you know, 5 or more kills, 20 toms. Geometric, 50 long shots. Obviously with a sniper, it's pretty easy. Flora, this one's a little bit different, but if you're sniping the correct way, you're gonna get this one naturally. It's 50 kills while holding your breath. Obviously, whenever you're using a sniper, it gives you the option to hold your breath. It keeps your shot more steady. Even if you're quick scoping, go ahead and hold your breath. This is something that is pretty much, it needs to be second nature for you. You'll get these 50 kills really fast. Science is get 50 one-shot, one-kill medals. You know, one-shot, one-kill, if you're pretty much hitting from upper torso or headshots, you know, upper torso or above, with any of these sniper rifles, it's going to be a one-shot, one-kill. Obviously, if you're playing hardcore, basically anything on the body is one-shot, one-kill, so this one should be pretty simple as well. Then psychedelic, you know, again, is double kills. We're going to go and look at a couple of the specialty weapons, what I like to call specialty. These are the ones that are going to drive you the craziest. So we're going to look at pistols, the melees, / special weapons, which for me, I did the M79, noob tube, and then the ballistic knife. Well, technically not the ballistic knife, but the knife. Then we're gonna look at our launchers. Okay, so first we're gonna start with our pistol here. For camo challenges on that, the spray is the elims, the stripes is headshots, classic 5 or more kills, 20 toms, geometric long shots, Flora is 25 detected. Science is taking cover from you, so 25 people taking cover from you. And psychedelic is double kills. Pistols, let me just go ahead and say, is a hardcore special. You are absolutely going to need to be in hardcore to do the pistols. Obviously, we have long shots in here. Obviously, we have double kills. This is just something, you know, that you're going to want to save yourself the agony. Don't try to do it in regular. You'll be able to accomplish some of these in regular, but you know, obviously hardcore, you can just one-shot someone with the pistol, makes it way easier, helps you save your ammo, helps you get those rapid kills. This one, you're absolutely going to need to be in hardcore for this one. Let's hop over to our knife real quick. So for the knife, the spray, we have 75 elims. Stripes, this is 25 backstabber medals, which is a kill from behind. It's pretty straightforward. It's literally going up behind someone and killing them. If you go in and you do an execution, that will count. I've noticed sometimes it doesn't count though. So typically you want to run up behind somebody, kind of not be directly at their back, but kind of be near their back. However, if you don't use the beatdown animation, because obviously your knife is the primary weapon that you're rocking. You know, if you hit the fire button, you're going to swing the knife. And then if you hit the beatdown button, the beatdown is what technically signals that execution, especially if you're behind somebody. So I just always run up somebody, make sure. For mouse and keyboard players, hit the click, you know, for controller players, hit the RT button. And that's going to be just like it's like you're firing your primary weapon essentially instead of doing a beatdown. Classic, this one is, you know, 25 finishing moves in multiplayer. So this one is going to be executions. So this one can be a little bit of frustrating because usually the person you're doing it to is going to be screaming for their teammate to help them. You'll definitely get shot while you're doing this sometimes. You just got to kind of grind it out, you know, run up into spawns, find people that are camping in buildings. That's a really good thing to look for. If they're on the map, you know, say they're, you know, getting a nuke town in one of the buildings sitting at the top, doing, you know, sniper kills or whatever, you know, you can run up behind them, hit this real quick. Geometric is kill 25 enemies while injured. This one will kind of happen naturally for you. So if you're running around the map, you know, if obviously you're charging people, their reaction is going to be to shoot you. If you see them, you know, they see you running at them with the knife. So as long as you take a little bit of damage, you know, a couple bullets from them before you get the kill, it'll count for this. And that's going to happen most of the time. You know, it's more often than not, you're going to be injured while you're trying to stab someone with the knife than you are not going to, you know, catching people off surprise where they have no chance to react. Flora is going to be 50 kills while sliding. This one can be a little bit challenging because you just need to judge your slide correctly. You know, if you slide and then they take a step back and then you knife after the slide is completed, it's not going to count. You know, it has to be while you're in the slide. So you're finishing that slide movement or you're in the middle of the slide. If you go into a slide, then you kind of pause and then start walking forward in the crouch position, it's not going to count. That's like a completely separate motion as far as the game is concerned. So you just have to make sure you get, typically I aim to get like 2 steps away from them and then I slide to make sure I'm getting them through that motion. Or sometimes, you know, if they're not paying attention, you can do a longer slide, you know, come up behind them and hit them like that. For science, this is going to be get 50 kills with your knife against enemies that are distorted by your smoke, splash, or stun grenades. A lot of people will use smokes. They'll just throw smokes into the middle of the map, then rush the smoke area and hope that somebody's inside of it. I've noticed though, if the enemy's kind of on the edge of the smoke or they're not really right in the center of it, it won't count. So I just like to do stuns, because whenever you stun someone, it literally pops up on your screen and says stunned opponent. So you know when they're stunned and you have, you know, 2-3 seconds to react to that. So typically I use stuns for this one. I think it goes a lot faster that way. And then psychedelic is multiplayer, or I'm sorry, it is multi-kills. Again, you know, double kills. We're searching for, you know, at least 2 people. You know, we're gonna kill 2 or more enemies rapidly 25 times. Let's hop over to the noob tube real quick. What I like to call the noob tube, aka the M79. This one can be challenging if you're not really precise with what you're trying to do here. So the spray is 30 elims. Stripes is going to be 50 long shot medals. Yes, I know this one's kind of confusing. Wait till the end of the video. I'm going to show you guys some specific tips on the launchers and the melee that's going to help you accomplish some of these camouflage challenges. So I'm going to show you where to shoot on certain maps, you know, tips on things like that. Again, this one's going to be a hardcore special, so you'll see what I'm talking about there. Classic is get 2 kills without dying 20 times. So this is a 2 kill streak, you know, but both of your kills have to come from the noob tube. One thing that will help you with this is that if you're rushing an opponent, say you're running up on a group, like maybe you're playing hard point, you know, there's 3 people in the hard point, you're rushing that area. If you shoot and then kill one and then you beat down with the other one, the second kill, that will count as 2 kills in a row. That will also count for your double kills, because that's a challenge for this one as well. This gun, and as well as the launchers, it takes a second to reload, so sometimes it's hard to go back to back actually hitting them with the grenade itself. As far as this challenge, not so much, but specifically the double kills. So going for that shoot and then beat down is a kind of a quick hack, I guess, to get around that one, and it'll help you a ton with this challenge. Geometric is destroy 50 equipment, score streaks, or vehicles in multiplayer. So equipment would be things like field mics, gas mines, decoy grenades, trophy systems, things like that. If you shoot a field mic that's laying on the ground, that'll count for this. If you know, trophy system, sometimes it'll block your grenade, sometimes it won't. It depends on how close you are. So one thing I like to do is just run up to it and beat it down. That will count. Score streaks, obviously UAVs, RCXDs, things like that will count. And then vehicles, if you're playing like Armada, you know, the dirt bikes, the snowmobiles, things like that. Flora, shoot and kill 50 enemies taking cover from you multiplayer. Again, this just depends on the map, where people are camping, what angle you're playing, things like that. This one is pretty easy to do. Science, this one's destroy 3 score streaks or enemy vehicles in a single game 10 times in multiplayer. This one, there is a way around that, and we'll dive into this challenge a little bit more later in the video that'll show you guys. And then psychedelic is kill 2 or more enemies rapidly 25 times in multiplayer. Lastly, we're going to go over to our launchers super quick here. We're going to go look at the RPG first. RPG spray, you know, is elims. Stripes is destroy 25 equipment, score streaks, or vehicles. Same as the M79 on that one. Classic, 2 kills without dying 20 times. You know, pretty self-explanatory. Geometric is 25 ground-based score streaks or vehicles in multiplayer. So this is, you know, again, dirt bikes, boats, things that are on the ground, RCXDs, sentry turrets, things like that. Flora, 25 aerial score streaks or vehicles. This is the one that gets most people tripped up, shooting the UAVs out of the air. Again, the RPG isn't guided. It's not like the Cigma. So this one can be a beat. Science, destroy 3 score streaks or vehicles in a single game 10 times. And then psychedelic is 25 double kills. And then lastly, we're going to go over to the Cigma. So the Cigma is pretty similar to the RPG. It's just going to require a bit more than what the RPG does. So for this one, we're going to need 50 elims. For the spray, for the stripes, we're going to need 50 equipment, score streak, or vehicles. Classic, we're going to need 2 kills without dying 20 times. Geometric is 50 ground-based score streaks or vehicles. Flora is going to be 50 aerial score streaks or vehicles. Science is 3 score streaks or vehicles 10 times. So that's 3 or more in a single game 10 times. And psychedelic is 25 double kills. All right, so that is each category for each weapon that we're going to be looking at while we are going through the Dark Matter challenge. Next, we're going to look at the specific class setups that I personally like to use for the categories of weapons. All right, so for basically any of the primary weapons, the class setups that I like to use are pretty much the same across the board. The only changes I'm really going to make are going to be for the melee, so that's the knife and the noob tube, and then the launchers. So this is going to be pretty much my primary class setup for any AR, SMG, LMG, sniper, shotgun, pistol, whatever. This is the class setup that I'm going to rock. I'm going to have the weapon I'm working on my primary slot. One thing I wish that I would have done, but I did not do myself personally, and this is the tip I'm going to give you guys now, is always keep a launcher or a pistol as your secondary, because that's something that you can be working on in the background of the game. So, you know, if a UAV's called in, if a sentry turret's dropped, whatever, you can go ahead and knock that out. So that'll help towards your RPG, your Cigma, your M79, whatever, or your knife, so that you can kind of do those things slowly in the background. Then as you complete, say, the ARs, the SMGs, and you get to the Cigma, you'll already have some progression on each of those challenges. I didn't do that. I just literally looked at the Cigma. It was at level 0, then I went from there, and that could have saved me a little bit of time if I would have done it this way. So you're gonna have your primary weapon. I'm not gonna show you guys which attachments to use for each weapon. Obviously, for your gun, you want it built out to be the best, because that's just going to help you get more kills. So if you're looking for the best XM4 to use in Cold War, this isn't the video. Go find that on YouTube. There's a lot of builds you can use. Make sure you have your gun built out, and, you know, specifics. You know, if you're doing like long shot challenges, make sure you're using an optic. If you're doing up close challenges, make sure you have it built for mobility. Things like that are things you want to consider. You know, build your gun out based on what specific challenge that you're focused on in that moment. And again, there's hundreds of YouTube videos on which builds are best. You can go find those. Perks that I'm going to be running here are going to be Flak Jacket. For me, I just like to use this one because you take less explosive damage. It's very, 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 very common to find yourself running through the map, get blown up by a grenade, a C4, get hit with an airstrike, whatever. This will help prevent some of those deaths. It'll keep you in the game longer. That's obviously a good thing. Perk number 2 is Gearhead. This is going to reduce your field upgrade cooldown. So if you use it, and then, you know, once you use the field upgrade, like the field mic, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can use it again. This is going to reduce that cooldown time so you can use them more often. And that'll also allow you to store up to 2 at once. So you can drop 1 in 2 places at the exact same time. That'll help you get more coverage on the map. It'll make sense for a lot of those detected challenges specifically. Then perk number 3, you can pretty much use Ghost, Cold-Blooded, or Ninja. I'll switch these up just a little bit based on the challenge I'm doing. Personally, I prefer Ninja the most because it's like dead silence. You know, enemies don't hear you. You can get that element surprise. It's really good for the 5 kill streaks if you're getting behind a team. If you're getting up in their spawn. Ghost is as well. Those kind of serve the same purpose. Obviously, they pop a UAV. They can't see you. Cold-Blooded will come more into the picture whenever I'm doing the launchers, because enemy controlled like helicopters, you know, their airstrikes, things like that won't target me because they won't be able to detect. For me personally, I like to mainly use Ninja, so you get the element of surprise on people. You can quickly reposition without people hearing you, things like that. For each of my classes, I always use Danger Close as well. Danger Close is going to give you 1 extra lethal and tactical in each category there, and you're also going to start with additional ammo, which will go a long way for sure. So this will give you 2 stun grenades instead of 1, 2 Simtexes, and then extra ammo, which is very, very important for like the launchers specifically, and the M2, you know, the noob tube, the M79. And then my field upgrade, I am always using the field mic. Again, this one is crucial for those detected kill challenges. The field mic basically is a mini UAV on the map, so when you drop this down, you'll see on the mini map there's a circle formed around the field mic, and when someone enters that circle, they'll pop up as a red dot. If you kill them while they're popped up as a red dot, that counts as one of those detected kills. So it's very important, you know, if you're playing Nuketown, you drop a field mic in one of the buildings, it's going to give you coverage almost around a third of the map. The map's pretty small, you know, obviously, so you're going to be able to tell when people are coming up behind you, when they're entering the building, when they're along the buses in the middle of the map. So this is one's going to be crucial for getting that detected one. Also to help you with kill streaks is, you know when they're coming before they know when you're coming. So it obviously gives you a clear advantage there. I'm going to be using that setup pretty much for any of the primary weapons. Let's go look at my melee / M79 class real quick. So whenever I'm rocking this, I'm going to be using the wild card is going to be perk greed instead of the lawbreaker. So this is going to allow me to equip an extra perk from each category. And my thought process here, what I'm going to be doing for perk slot number 1 is I'm going to run engineer. This is going to actually let you see enemy equipment and score streaks through the walls. So they're going to pop up on your screen with a red outline. Obviously, we know some of the challenges for, the launchers and the noob tube is destroying, enemy field equipment. So if you can see it on the map, obviously, in the walls, you see exactly where it is. This is something that you're definitely going to need. It's going to give you an advantage on finding these before your teammates. So that way you can be the first person to knock them out. And then obviously if you're, have the UAV popped, if they pop a UAV, then you can see the UAV flying around with the red outline, makes it easier to shoot down. So engineer is a huge perk that you definitely want to use. Also use tac mask. This just makes you, resistant to flashbang stun grenades and any gas grenades. Sometimes when you're running around, obviously people will leave gas grenade field upgrades, and those can kill you very quickly if you don't have a tac mask. You can swap this one out with flak jacket just based on your preference, whichever one you want to rock there. Perk number 2, I'm going to use gearhead. Again, this just reduces your field upgrade cooltime. And then scavenger, this one will help you can pick up ammo while fallen players. So if you kill someone with your noob tube, you can run up to their body, it'll give you ammo. So that can go a long way because a lot of these guns don't come with a ton of ammunition, especially like the noob tube. If you're not running danger close, which you're not here, you're only going to start with 1 or 2 rounds. So this is going to be big for you. And then perk number 3, again, I kind of swap all of these through Ghost, Cold-Blooded, and Ninja. For the M79, I'm going to use Ghost and Cold-Blooded. That way I'm not popping up on their UAVs, and then Cold-Blooded so they can't target me. If I'm doing the knife though, I'm 100% going to use Ghost and Ninja. Ninja, again, they can't hear your footsteps. You can sneak up on people. It's very crucial that you get close to people when you're doing the knife, obviously. So that's going to be a huge one to use there. Again, for the tacticals, I swap between smoke grenade and stun grenade when it comes to, the launchers. And also for the knife, personally, I like to use the smoke. One thing that I like to do in Nuketown, for example, is whenever you first spawn, is I chuck a smoke grenade up into the middle. That way I can give myself cover as I'm navigating over, because whenever I'm using the knife, I really want to get in the other team's building. That's going to be huge for you, is to get in the other team's building and be able to sneak up on people. So I use smoke grenades to give myself cover as I'm running through there. The enemy's going to be disoriented, and usually you can slip through without detection, and then you're in their spawn, and then you can do what you want from there. For the field upgrade, specifically on the launchers, for the knife, I'm going to keep this as, the field mic, but for launchers, I'm going to use the assault pack. This one does take the most time to recharge, but this one's going to be crucial because this is an ammunition pack that essentially you can drop down and it'll give you full ammo on the weapons that you're using. And if you're smart, you can drop this in the back of your spawn and it will stay there so you can continue to use it until someone destroys it. So if you spawn, you go kill somebody, then you die, you spawn again, your assault pack will still be there. You can, pick up more ammo. This is big for like long shots on the M79. You can stay in the back of the map, keep shooting those shots, and then just hit the assault pack over and over and over again. So this one is very, very critical here. So that's how I set up my classes. Again, for the primary weapons, I'm pretty much going to be running the same thing that we covered in the first part of this section. Then for the launchers and the knife, we're going to make a couple alterations there. Next, we're going to look at which specific playlists that you want to be using that are going to give you the biggest advantage for completing these challenges. All right, guys, here we are, the next section of the video. Now we're going to be looking at which playlist, aka which maps you're going to want to be running. That are going to make this go along the fastest. So whether you're doing regular or hardcore, again, this video is in July 2021. So right now we have Nuke Jack 24/7. This is going to absolutely be the go-to playlist, specifically the Nuketown map within this playlist. They used to have Nuketown 24/7 and then Hijack 24/7 as separate playlists. They've now combined it. I was really irritated when that happened because Hijacked definitely is not the best map for some of these challenges. Nuketown is. Nuketown's just going to be the best map specifically because of how small it is, how quickly you can get from one side to the other. Whenever, especially when you're trying to shoot down like aerial kill streaks, things like that. You know, the UAVs are actually lower in the air than they are in a lot of other maps. So Nukejack 24/7. You know, if you go over here to quick play, you can filter for it. Nukejack 24/7. See, we're on the hardcore tab here. Then you can go over to regular and go Nukejack 24/7 from there, and then search. Honestly, you'll get to a point to where you'll back out if you get hijacked and just try to get Nuketown over and over and over again. That's really going to save you a lot of time. That's specifically the very best map, bar none. It's not even close. If you can try to aim for domination and hardpoint games, those typically last the longest, and it allows you to get people grouped up more often than you know, team deathmatch or kill confirmed. So hardpoint and domination are huge. If you get that on Nuketown, you know, it's jackpot. It's really time to go off. Another playlist that I like to use specifically for knives, or if you're looking to try to get double kills on any of your weapons, is Hardcore Face Off 6v6. So this one is going to be on a lot of the mosh pit maps, a lot of the smaller maps like ICBM, KGB, Game Show, things like that. These maps are even smaller than Nuketown, man. So these ones are super chaotic. The intro to this video, whenever I got Dark Matter, you can see I was doing double kills with my RPG on ICMB. Or I'm sorry, ICBM. So that was one that really can go a long way, especially on the knife. Like, I got a ton of the camos done on the knife using Face Off 6v6 just because of how close the maps are, how fast paced everything is. You know, you can catch people off guard because there's so many people shooting at them at once. This one is kind of one of my cheat codes, to be honest. Another playlist I want to specifically look at under regular, this isn't in hardcore, unfortunately, it's under regular, it's Combined Arms Mosh Pit. So again, if we think back to our launchers, you know, it said that you had to get vehicle. You know, some of the camos were for enemy score streaks / vehicles on the ground, and you're probably like, well, I've never even seen a vehicle on the ground. They exist here in Combined Arms Mosh Pit. So on the maps, Armada, Cartel, Collateral, Crossroads, not on Miami. If you're playing this and you get Miami, back out. There's no vehicles on the ground. It's a waste of your time. It's just a really big version of Miami. Nobody wants to play it. But specifically on those 4 other maps, this is one's going to have, you know, on Armada, there's going to be boats in the water that you can shoot. Those count as ground. On Collateral and Armada, I'm sorry, on Collateral and Cartel, you're going to have dirt bikes. You're going to have 4x4s. Those are going to be vehicles on the ground. And then for Crossroads, you're going to have the snowmobiles, the tanks, etc. Those all count as ground vehicles. So those are going to be things that you definitely are going to need for your launchers, also for your noob tube. So you're going to find yourself in this playlist quite a bit as you're doing those specific challenges. They did have a 12v12 mosh pit just until like last week. I'm hoping they bring that back. If you do see 12v12 mosh pit in either of these playlists, hardcore or core, I would highly recommend using that. Obviously, most game modes are 6v6 or 5v5. If you get 12v12, it's just more people for you to kill, more opportunities. It makes it a lot easier. I got a ton of the 5 kill streak challenges completed using that playlist. So if you see that one pop back up, I'm sure, you know, obviously Treyarch cycles the weapon playlist every week. I'm sure they'll be bringing that one back soon. I've seen a couple people even tweet about it, saying that they wanted it. So keep your eyes out for that. And anything, you know, that's kind of resemblance of like big team, you know, things like that, you want, you know, the more bodies to kill, the better. It's just going to make life a little bit easier. Next, we're going to go and we're going to look at some of these specific challenges that are going to prove difficult for you. Things like long shots with the M79, aerial kills with the RPG, things like that. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how I was able to get those done pretty quickly, and how you can do the same as well. All right, guys, here's the last part of the video. I'm going to show you guys a specific couple of tips that I'm going to give you on specifically the knife, the M79, the RPG, and the Cigma. One of the challenges that I found it difficult was the sliding ones. If you guys remember me talking about this, the sliding ones can be a little bit comical based on the parameters of the slide itself. So we're loaded into Nuketown here. One tip I'm gonna give you guys right off the jump here is go to your settings, go to your interface, and make sure you have subtitles enabled. This is gonna give you the opportunity to see subtitles pop up on your screen. This is really important for whenever enemies call in UAVs, counter UAVs, things like that. It'll pop up on your screen. So if you're like me, like right now, I have the audio turned low for this video, and sometimes when you're grinding this, you just don't want the audio up very loud. So you're gonna see that pop up on your screen, so it'll give you the opportunity to shoot at enemy UAVs before your teammates do. So again, looking at the knife, again, this challenge, you have to hit it while you're sliding. So you're gonna slide, you know, melee, things like that. So some tips I like to do is kind of look at where the enemy is. Like this guy, you kind of want to get a couple steps behind him, you know, hit him with that slide. See, like that one doesn't kill. That one didn't count because I was already done with my slide. That's the one challenge you're gonna find as you're doing this. So you gotta make sure you're running up, slide, like that one, boom. You'll see that low blow metal pop up on your screen. As long as you got that low blow metal, then you know that you got the slide kill. So that one counts, like that one right there. So that's one thing to definitely keep in mind, okay? All right, guys, for the last part of this video, I'm gonna show you guys a couple tips on the launchers and the noob tube, some of the hardest challenges there. You can see I hopped back over to hardcore. We got hardcore Nuketown hardpoint, which is huge for this one. You know, hardcore, again, for your launchers is gonna be super important. You know, people will be using flak jackets. It'll drive you crazy. But you'll see less flak jackets in hardcore than you do in regular for sure. That's definitely going to be the case. So this is the perfect spawn that you want to be on this side of the map for these M79 long shots, man. There's actually a little spot that I'm about to show you guys. If you're over here in the back and you aim just in between this chimney and this, like halfway over on this white overhang here, and you aim about an inch above the chimney, you'll see sometimes you gotta adjust your positioning a little bit, but if you shoot that long shot, it's gonna hit the people that are camping in the back of their spawn over behind the building, okay? Some people, they'll say that they like to shoot 2 inches above the chimney and that will actually land in their spawn. However, I have found it to be the case to where it'll actually hit that part of the building if you don't hit it the same, and you'll waste a lot of ammo trying to do that. So again, the sweet spot in between the chimney and this area, like right in here, and then you aim about an inch to an inch and a half above the chimney, and you're gonna catch people that are trying to snipe in the back of their spawn. You know, a lot of people trying to do long shot medals. I'll show you exactly where they'll be sitting. Like right back in there is where their grenade's gonna land every single time. All right, so if you spawn on this side of the map, one thing I like to do, kind of like the sniper, assault rifle, whatever long shots, is I like to go over here and try to shoot into their garage. So I try to aim, I'm gonna try to do this without this guy killing me. You aim about halfway up the building and it will land usually right here in the middle of the garage. It'll hit that wall. And that's gonna hit people that are camping behind that door, that are, you know, pushing forward in this area. So again, you wanna aim right about here. You shoot and you can see, you know, that one was a little bit short, so you can go even a little bit higher. Boom, that's perfect. Just in that area, that's gonna hit somebody that's pushing through that garage. You know, again, this side of the map's definitely best. As far as, you know, hitting people above that area that are camping in the back. Again, 2 for 2 now, you can see there. So that's something that you definitely want to stay focused on. So one tip on the launchers, you guys, obviously the RPG, it doesn't lock on to score streaks. It doesn't lock on to anything in the air. That makes things a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna go ahead and, oops, I got a field mic. So without it locking onto things, it makes things a bit more difficult. It makes them a bit more challenging. So you can see, of course, I have this guy trying to kill me. I have an enemy spy plane inbound. Again, I know that because of the thing that popped up on my screen. So what I like to do is aim about 2 inches in front of these things. Again, this is gonna be pretty, you just have to get the hang of it, okay? There's gonna be a lot of failed attempts. You can see the RPGs, it will go all over the place. Sometimes it'll go high, sometimes it'll go low. Typically, if you run out of ammo and you don't get a kill, just kill yourself real quick, and then you can come back with more ammo, or if you have an assault pack, then you can spawn back. So you have about 30 seconds to shoot it down before it leaves. As you can see, it's already left, so I missed my opportunity on that one. But something to keep in mind is that the UAVs, the counter UAVs, those will fly basically in a circular motion. And if you can, like this spot plane, if you can position yourself to get almost up underneath it and shoot, kind of like so, you're more than likely to hit it. You kind of want it flying towards you, okay? And again, I like to aim about 2 inches on your screen in front of it. Sometimes, you know, again, there's a bit of luck involved with this. Sometimes, you know, you just have to base your aim. See, like that one, it got a little bit close to me, so I should have adjusted to aim a little bit closer to the UAV than further away. One other thing you really want to keep your eyes for is enemy care packages. When care packages are called in, that's going to be something that's absolutely huge for you. The helicopter is going to come in and it'll literally hover in the same exact spot, and it's just going to sit there, and you'll have about 2 seconds to shoot. But if you hit it, it's a guaranteed kill every single time. Same thing with attack helicopters. When attack helicopters come in, they'll kind of, you know, swerve back and forth a little bit, but it's pretty easy to hit, and you can get really, really close to it, especially if you have cold-blooded, so it's not going to target you off the jump. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh my god. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? This is the one. This is the one. This is the one. This is definitely the one right here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Lock it in. Lock it in. Let's go. Let's go. One thing that I want to touch on now is getting 3 kill streaks in one game. So the 3 kill streaks in one game can seem almost impossible. I have got 3 UAVs out of the air in one game with an RPG. It is possible, but it's going to take a lot more time if you don't do this one tip slash, it's not really an exploit, but it's kind of a workaround, okay? So with the 3 out of the air, if you hit the first 2, say with the Cigma, like you shoot 2 UAVs out of the air with the Cigma, as long as you hit that 3rd UAV with the RPG, it'll count as 3 in one game, okay? I don't know why that's the case, but it is what it is, okay? So you don't actually have to hit all 3 with the weapon that you need the challenge for. So that Cigma is definitely going to be your best friend, because again, it locks on to vehicles and kill streaks. It makes it a lot easier to knock out of the air than it is the RPG or the M79. So what I like to do is at the start of the game, I'll start with the Cigma. You know, I have that in one of your classes, and I'll knock out 2 UAVs, and then I'll switch to whether I'm working on the RPG or the M79, and I'll just focus on that last one. And as long, again, if you get that 3rd one out of the air with the weapon that you need the challenge for, it will count. And you'll see it pop up on your screen whenever that does happen. You know, one thing I like to do is in Armada is I'll go in again with the Cigma, I'll knock a couple vehicles out or UAVs out, and then I'll just wait and try to catch somebody either on a boat or a dirt bike with the RPG or the M79, because those are both very, very easy. All right, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I tried to be as in-depth as I possibly could. I tried to make this video as short as I possibly could. I know something like this is a bit lengthy. I'm going to try to add some timestamps in the YouTube itself so you can jump to specific sections if that's something you want to do. I wish you guys the best of luck if you're going to grind for dark matter. It's definitely worth it. Again, there's going to be times that you lose patience. Just do your best not to lose full. Try to hit that regain whenever you need to. Get up, take a break. You know, it is something that's going to take some time. Just know that. But I hope by following some of the tips and some of the tricks that I gave you guys here today, you all can minimize that time and get dark matter unlocked as fast as possible. Again, mainly I'm a Warzone player, but if they ever do add Dark Ether into Warzone, I'm definitely going to grind for that. So, you know, if that day comes, maybe we'll do another guide like this. We'll work for that one. So if you guys like the video, I'd really, really appreciate it. Leave a like. It means a ton to me if you guys do. Leave a comment if you have any questions about anything that I covered in the video, anything that I didn't cover in the video that maybe I forgot about, let me know. And make sure you're subbed to the channel with post notifications turned on. All right, appreciate you guys. Catch you next time.